So, just looking through this great book, the artwork of Oliver Frey. Available, of course, at Fusion Retro Books. One for the collection you must get. On this week's Retro Robin Show, the usual dose of Commodore versus Spectrum. And Spectrum are on a bit of a run. Will Commodore put a stop to that? As well as we're going to have a game that drives you a little bit quackers. A duck that can't fly. Usually chickens can't fly and ostriches can't fly, but not ducks. I've seen ducks fly, definitely. They were on my wall, 3 in a row, getting larger as we go. As well as we're going back to issue Crash number 73, as we're going to re-review some more of those games from that, maybe even find a hidden gem, one you may have forgot about, one you might like to play again. So join me now on the Retro Robin Show. 200 subscribers plus, can't be wrong. They could all be mistaken though. Oh well, who knows. If you love a bit of 8-bit. Welcome to another Retro Robin Show with me, Wayne, of course. We're looking at Crash number 73. Yes, number 73, not the TV programme that run from 1982 to 1988 on children's TV. No, we're going to look at the Crash issue number 73 and re-review some of the games from out of that particular Crash, as well as a look at some more modern games that I'm going to give a little bit of a re-review, or have a look and have a little play. Let's see if I can do any good on them, which is probably going to be doubtful because you've seen me play these games before and I'm usually pretty poor. But then it's not for me to be good, it's for you to enjoy how bad I am and see if you can do better. And we'll have, of course, towards the end of the show, Commodore versus Spectrum. So, what else is going on in today's show? Well, yeah, back in February 1990, that was issue number 73, was £1.70. It came with loads of games on the front of the magazine, but we're not here to have a look at those games. Let's move on and have a look at today's first game that I've spotted being broadcast on the Facebook and various groups that's been played a lot this week, to do with a duck. Yes, a duck. As I said in the intro, this duck can't fly, but it can jump. But it can only jump with the aid of an egg. An egg that just goes poof, what makes you jump even higher. What am I talking about? That's a good question. So, let's have a look at this game. And there's the game. Well, there's the loading screen of the game. We seem to have a bit of an issue with some sort of polarisation today. See if we can fix that before we continue. It's getting worse. Don't miss. It's no good when you miss. What is this game? Well, you're about to find out. There you go. Music by and all the information you need. 2020. So, let's give it a go. I'm going to press 1 for keyboard. We got Sound Clash. Interesting music, I quite like it. I do like to let the AY sound play just a little bit, just so you can get a feel for the game before you actually get into the game. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's have a look at this game, shall we? Interesting to know what the keys are. Aha! So it's QA, OP, and of course the A will launch an egg. The Q is the jump, which incidentally you can jump certain heights, but to get it to jump really high, you drop the egg, stand by it, and you get extra height out your jump, which is a vital part of the game, as you're about to find out. And as you can see, we've got something there we can collect straight away. Oh, there's a lock, so obviously before I can get into that, I've got to find somewhere to open. First monster, and guess what? I'm dead already. I have been doing a bit of research, we've got a lot of playing of this game. I'm a little bit better than you realise. Well, I'm going to prove that today. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Oh. Before I can go any further, I've got to collect that sort of disc there. It's a case of placing your eggs right. now I should be able to do a big jump and get across to there. And I've got my first item, so now let's go down here, see what else we can collect. There's a switch over there, and you'll need to switch that switch in order to proceed a little bit further in the game, because obviously that's going to open a door or compartment somewhere. Oh, and certain... don't chuck an egg at him, Wayne, just bounce on him. Your egg's hopeless. I've done it again. Rubbish. Alright. I know what the problem is here. You can sort of jump on that rabbit's head a few times and oops. You can't launch more than one egg either, so you have to be quick when you've launched your egg to get by it in order to give you that sort of turbo boost to the top of the screen. Right, that switch is now switched, so hopefully, now I'm already down to my last life. Yeah. And even to go up this screen here, you've got to get the egg in the right place. Ah. Right, so we jump on there. Oh, just about made that. There we go. My head keeps exploding before I have a chance to sit on it. Maybe I could just jump over it. Dead! Useless. I want another go! My game, why not? I won't bore you with me going too far. We'll still get back to that point with some lives intact so that I can show you a little bit more of the game. Managed to get in with 2 lives intact this time. Oh, and now we're going to go down this little pit hole here. And it's open that there was a barrier here preventing you from getting to this piece of the puzzle, which I've now managed to get to. And I can bounce on his head and he will die. Or disappear. They come back so they don't die, do they? And we got another disc there to face. Oh, don't know how I'll survive that. Obviously I'm going to need an egg just to jump up that little bit of a platform. Instead I'll just walk. Oh well, that solves the problem, doesn't it? Oh, must have got lucky there because I thought I was done for. Oh yes, this is where it all gets very interesting indeed. Avoid fires. Fires are dangerous in any game. You can jump over that, but you've got to be careful. You're just a bit of good timing required. Yippee. Oh. And I'm done for. So, what do I think of the game? Well, I'll let the music play for a bit and tell you all that needs to be told. Yeah, it's fun. It's an interesting type of platformer. It's an all new take on a platformer, really, because where you've got a normal jump, you've got a boosted jump done by dropping an egg, which gives you an extra, and that you have to use quite a lot. You've also then got various items and switches you need to collect, switches you need to switch over to open up the game to go further on through the levels, and accompanied with this sound. Graphics are really nice. Colours are used in interesting ways, but it does feel like you actually progress into different parts of the game when obviously the colours change, and it feels a bit better. Playable wise, it's not too difficult. There's an act to it, and obviously the more you play, the easier it becomes. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. What sort of rating would I give it? Well, I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Yes, these platformers nowadays are so well done that they make the old platformers seem a bit early, don't they? I don't know how to put it. Yeah, they're getting better and better and better, and probably with the AWA sound. Yeah, I loved it. Great game. One for you to try. Please do so, because it's available free on download. And that's the first game of today. Let's move on to the next game, which is slightly different, but yet another platformer that you may enjoy playing. Resetting the computer, of course. And here we are. This game I've been seen a few times, so I thought I'd have a look at it, give it a go and see what it is that you've got to do in the game and see how enjoyable and playable it really is. As always, all the information there is on the screen for you to read, so I don't need to tell you too much. Keyboard, Kempston, Sinclair, all redefinable keys, and I'm so glad that you get the option to redefine the keys. What can I tell you about this game? Well, we're going to get straight into it. And the music in the game is different to the presentation at the start. You're playing as this little character here. We'll collect that dollar. Have you noticed when you're going up and down stairs, he's got no legs? Well, it looks like he's got no legs. So we click that device there. The dollar is mine, and hell. Now, importantly, when you go through this sort of like green flashing activation type switch, it will deactivate the barrier. When you hit the red one, it will reactivate the barrier. The barrier is in the middle with the two little red lines on the Clyde. So as you see, now they've disappeared, you can go through it. Not a problem. But once you go through this, it locks the barrier, you cannot return. And that is important because it's a feature of the game to solving the problem. Or puzzle. Not problem. Well, puzzles are problems, aren't they? These are little platforms, you just got to time it well to jump down to. And the first few screens are quite easy. Not a problem at all. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Been watching too much Screen Rant. Look, he's got no legs, but his arms are going like mad. I've never seen anybody climb a ladder like that. And this is where you have to use your brain. This will open the barrier, allow that monster to get past the barrier, then lock the barrier on him, and you can rescue, help, this guy here. And the only person that really needs help is me. And I'll lock him back in this section. I don't know why, I always think just in case you've got to go back that way, but then that may not be the case. And now we'll open the barrier at the bottom, but before you do any of that, drop this little device, we'll destroy him. You can't go down there. It looks like you can, but you can't. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of the screen without there. Oh dear me. I am stuck. Okay, now I'm going to activate this barrier. Obviously, this is just a clever bit of avoidance. Locked him out, that's not a problem. We'll get me dollar in a minute. There we go. Now this is a gun which will blow a hole in that particular barrier there. And of course you get your first real annoying creature. Got that. Just watch the pattern. Which I didn't. Well, at least you got to see the death sequence. Nice flashing border effect on the death sequence. Run for it, Forest! And that's that section. So every screen is gradually getting harder. I would be careful. Wait till he's it's a case of run for it. Run for your life. I'll get the dollar first. And there's a switch there for me to toggle, which I'll do now. And that will open a barrier on the left hand side of the screen. There we go. And there's only one thing you can do now. And that's if it lets me down. Run for it. And there we go. So don't activate that barrier till you've given yourself enough time to do that. I made that look quite well. I like that, thank you. And here comes the first real challenging part of the game. And anything that's challenging usually spells doom for me. Getting past that little bird. Oh no, we don't do it just yet. This could be the end for me, Retro. I think the key to it is to follow him. But what do I know? Oh, and I've got my name up in letters. I can't be bothered with that. What do I think? Well, yeah, it's a good game. It's different. Every screen's got its own little puzzle. It slowly gets harder. The AY sound at the start of the game I prefer to the actual AY sound in the game, and because it seems to get a little bit too intense, a little bit too loud, too repetitive, can actually quite get on your wick a little bit if you like. But generally speaking, I think it's a great game. I'm not comparing each games to each other, but I will say that the two games that I've just seen, I prefer the first one, but this one isn't bad either. But I'm going to give it a high rating. Yeah, the opening presentation was great. The playability isn't too difficult, gradually getting more difficult. For that reason, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. As always. I would say it's only a matter of opinion, one for you to try maybe, available on download. If you do download it, please tip the developers. Encourage them to make more great games like this. They deserve some reward for their hard work, and it's only £1 or £2, it's not a problem. You don't have to, of course, you can have it freely done downloaded, but I just think it's a nice thing to do. It's not like it's a lot of money, is it really, for a game? But great, I enjoyed it, and yeah, hope you did too. So we're going to number 73, Not the House. No, remember the TV show, 1980, number 73. Wasn't that where the sandwich quiz was born? I'll try and do the rhyme, but I'm not going to because it's quite tricky. The delectable, most sensational. Oh no, give up before I start. £1.70 this crash was in February 1990. Let's have a look at the first game we're going to review from out of this particular magazine. We're going to have a look at today as a re-review is a racing game. We're featuring two racing games today. One or two things to tell you, of course. The 28th of May, the National Museum of Computing will reopen, so please show your support, book some tickets, because due to the tough time we want to really keep places like that museum up and running well, and by just attending and bringing back their attendance, hopefully we will preserve that sort of institution for the future, for, well, every generation to come, to see what computers all really began with in this country, as well as you can take a class in the BBC Micro Room. There's lots of interesting stuff, and I wholeheartedly support everyone the hard work that Jason and his team do down there, and there's many of them, of course. Great place to visit, and not too far. Well, it's in London, isn't it? So yeah, on the 28th of May, that is at the moment the official date that they're looking to reopen. Social distancing will be in place, of course. So what did Crash make of this game? Well, the game we're going to review is the Dual Test Drive 2, so it's the second one. And the presentation was given 71%, graphics was given 79%, sound was only given 60%, playability 75%, addictive quality 71%, its overall rating was 76%. So I'm going to have a go at it and see if I'm any good, and probably not going to be any good, but I'm still going to have a go at it. We'll have a look to see if there's any loading screen, and of course here it is. Oh, look at that. Straight away this works so well. in rehearsal, and now when I've come to actually recording the show, it's all gone horribly wrong. Oh well. Here's the game then. And that is indeed, of course, your loading screen as well. As you can see, the time counter's gone down to 0, which means it's fully loaded and ready for us to play. You've got your options of your joystick, which is a Sinclair interface. You can play against the computer or the clock by using K to change for controls, or Z, of course, to change controls, and K and L to alternate between. We'll go for joystick, shall we? Yeah. The K and L obviously lets you know how hard or easy you want it. And because I'm really good, I'm going to go to maximum hardness. Yeah. You know it was going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. 1989, copyright of course, for that company that produced this particular game. So let's get into the game. And straight away you just press forwards to accelerate. And as you can see, the mirror in the rear mirror was the car. He's now overtaken me. So it's quite tricky to keep on the roads. And already I've seemed to have lost a life because he's blasted me. But we'll give it a go. We'll try and avoid him and stay on the road at the same time. Which I've already lost control. Told you I ain't no good at these type of racing games. Certain games I am though. Overall impressions then, it's a little bit, seems like a sluggish, doesn't really have any feel of fast movement to it, other than the fact that I lose control quite easily and I've just hit a cactus by the looks of things. I like the bottom display of the joystick, and as you can see the gear stick moves up as you speed up. There's like a little dot on the steering wheel to show you whether it's centre or not. Okay. I have done better than this. I know you don't believe me, but I have done better than this. The horizon, well, there's a few little dinky mountains in the distance. Obviously they're just going to go left and right. It looks like I'm catching up the car, the intended guy, up until the point where I've come off the road. So effectively Crash gave that 75%, 76%, sorry, which is, you say 7.5 out of 10. I don't like it as much for a racing game. I didn't get into it, but this is only a matter of opinion, of course. For me, I'm only going to give that a 5 out of 10. I've played a fair few racing games and they're a lot better than that. So let's move on to the next game. Professional Tennis Tour. Presentation 65%, graphics 67%, sound 58%, playability 61%, addictive quality is 52%, overall rating 61%, and of course it was by Ubisoft, and it was £9.99 and £14.99 on disc. Not an expensive game, and I've got the demo playing for you. However, I have to say I have played it. I'm going to try and fit a lot in. And it looks good. It's just a little bit slow and a bit hard to catch the bat just right, but when you get into the game it plays reasonably okay. Crash gave it an overall rating, of course, of 61%, which is 6 out of 10, and I'm going to totally agree with Crash on that one. Not bad, but could have been better. I'm also going to give that a 6 out of 10. So let's move on to another game. I'll just reset the computer. So the next game, I've just turned the AY sound off for a moment, is of course the sequel to Outrun, Turbo Outrun, and of course by US Gold, Ice Development. And what do they say about this particular game? Presentation 82%, graphics 80%, sound 78%, playability 75%, addictiveness was given 77%, its overall rating was 79%. I like the little animation at the start there, and of course I've already left it too late. I was going to go for the automatic. There is sound in the game. I'm going to start it again and get that automatic ready. There we go. They're just changing it to automatic for me, and As always with Outrun, I do think the sound in the game makes the game itself. It's much the same as what you get with Outrun, but different car slightly. It scrolls quite nicely. And unfortunately I haven't crashed anyways. It's easier to play than the first racing game I played. Only difference is I've just hit a building. In real life you wouldn't be back in your car, would you? You'd be on your way to hospital. And it's called Turbo Outrun. Oh. The biggest problem I have is playing it with this blooming screen in the way. Oops, check myself up, I can see a bit better. Let's see if we can get to the end of this level before time runs out. I'm using joystick, of course, which was probably a bad idea in the first place. I'm a much better person on keys. I like the scenery in the background. There's a bit more to it than that. And we've got through the first level somehow. Slightly more frantic music. Generally speaking, I could probably get into this game because this is not too bad a race as it happens. But it's not the patch on Outrun itself. When that came out, I liked that game. But then I did play the arcade version of Outrun and nothing really could compare to me. I always wanted the Ferrari Testarossa. I'm eating a few barriers here, but you know. Road works by the council, of course, and no council workers there to do them. That's about right. As you can see, the background's changed as well. We've got a nice hilly scene. And that looks like oil patches or water on the road. Maybe it's a wet road simulation. How on earth am I getting through these cars? I definitely didn't get through the trees. You did a slight spin there. There's a mile crash that I've done 3 times in a row. Overeat. That means I'm not going to give any fast. Do you wish to continue? Well, I can do, why not? A bit further on. Then we can make it to another level. So I don't know how many continues you get, but I like that feature. Because I suppose in the arcades as well, you'd get to put more credits in to continue from where you left off. And if you had the right amount of money on you and you was a rich person, you'd complete it. And in my case, it probably cost a few million. It's hard to see the barriers coming though, that's the thing. I'm overheating at the moment, so I can't use my turbo. Just got a slight turbo there. I'll cancel it in a minute because obviously we're going to get to the end of the stage. In a minute it'll just quickly change and the A voice sound in the background will change. And we go back to the first A voice sound with obviously what looks to be ice road. But yeah, I kind of like it. Even though I'm rubbish, I kind of like it because I can sort of understand what's going on there. And I'm wobbling the camera a bit because I'm moving the table, so I do apologise for that. Get some turbo going. Oh. And straight into a tree. Okay. I don't like the first tune as well. I like the sounds in it, definitely, but both of them are pretty good tracks. $9.99 or $14.99 as $14.99 disc, as I was saying. Yeah. Definitely one for you to try. I'm sure if you played Outrun and you enjoyed it, you're going to enjoy this. Could have done better. It's not bad though. It's a little bit tricky. Good that you can continue, of course. So, what would I give that? Well, I'm going to give that, effectively, I'm going to give that 8 out of 10 as well. I completely agree with Crash. Why not? One for you to try. Maybe you've forgotten about this game. Yeah, give it a go. Why not? This is what this game's about. Remind you of those hidden gems or games that you may not have tried and perhaps you never even followed the sequel. Okay, I think we can fit another one in before we move on to Commodore vs Spectrum. We've got time today. I'm trying to keep it within the hour, of course. Last week I ran over. And as always, don't forget, if you like today's show, please remember to like, share and subscribe. I've got over 200 subscribers. Hip hip hooray! It's good to people actually enjoy what I'm doing. Let me just reset the computer then. EXO is the name of the game by Rainbow Arts. Obviously it's going to be a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. £8.99 was the cassette price in this particular day, and £12.99 was the disc, which was better than the £14.99s that we've just been having, obviously set by price. What did Crash make of this particular game? Presentation 76%, graphics was given 80%, sound was given 69%, playability 65%, addictive qualities would have been 62%, its overall rating was 73%. We're going to go for the tape file, we'll have a quick brief look at the loading screen, and I will be pressing yes. There you go, recognise the game. Great starting intro, I do like that. First thing you do is you choose the what you want to fly, so I'm going to choose that one. Yeah, then you choose what weapons you want. We'll go for the bullets. I don't know what those are, I haven't worked them out. Ooh, what's these? free fires. Shields maybe, etc. You know, they all variously do. Of course, you've only got so much money before you have to go and... or so you can only equip it with so much. Once you've selected, won't let you select any more options. So you just go straight to over here and we'll click on that. Right then, away we go. Using Jaws joystick, thank you Joe for this, press fire. And I've got the freeway shooters, that's good. Well, the first thing you notice about the game, yes, it's only two sorts of colours. But, it's how very smooth the scrolling is. It's very smooth indeed, actually. And obviously R-Type was probably the best version of a shoot 'em up you can get, but this is not bad at all, to be honest. I like the graphical background, and of course you've got little things on the roof you've got to avoid, little mines. There's all sorts you've got to destroy on the ground. And if you're wondering why I'm not dying, well, it's because I'm really good. Now I've got the cheating. Well, it just makes it easier. You know, I like games you can put a cheat in occasionally. Yeah. This is your first little baddie, and it takes a bit of taking care of, I can tell you. And hopefully we'll get rid of him pretty quickly. Then you turns into just this guy before we can get to the end of the level to see the big boss. Just avoid the rockets he's firing at you. And there we go, he's done with. Good thing is the rapid fire really is truly rapid. Oof. Yeah, very good. Just a shame there's not more colours in it, which is the only thing that lets it down. You know, some of the background could be slightly different colour, but playable wise, it is definitely very playable. I think it's been given a bit of a bad rap on a rating. Maybe it's all because of you've got a lot to compete with, haven't you? Once you've played R-Type, you don't really look back, do you? Not saying there's not better, but And any minute now we'll be coming across the one of the biggest baddies at the end of the first level. Quite enjoying it. Oh, games are fun when you don't have to worry about dying. I know I've wimped out. Look at that rocket, a heat seeker. That looks a little bit like R-Type, doesn't it? Have we got rid of one? Oh wow. Obviously I'd be dead with that head floating around because you're supposed to be able to avoid it like this. Hey, does that mean I've completed the whole thing? Yes. I got a bonus. Right, so obviously Crash gave that only 73%. That's the most amount of colour. And then you just change whatever you need to change to. I've got two of them now. Did we go for 3 files before? Okay. Personally, I think it was better than that. Shame it hadn't got more colours, but they've effectively given it 7 out of 10, so I'm going to give it a bit more now. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. If you've not played it, it's really nice side-scrolling game. Shoot 'em up. The sprites and the graphic are really well done. There's probably more to the game than I've actually revealed, but give it a go anyway, see what you think. I'm quite liking this AY sound in the background. It doesn't drive you quackers after all. From the game that we previewed earlier, of course, in case you were wondering, oh, that sounds a bit familiar. Okay, last review of the day before we move on to Commodore vs Spectrum. Tintin! Said that a bit loud, didn't I? Tintin on the Moon. £9.95 and £14.95 for disc. Did anybody actually buy discs? Or was that just an optional extra you could have added and people never ordered? Oh, the autofocus will be okay in a moment. So what did Crash make of this? A number 73 back in 1990, February of course. Presentation 70%, graphics 80%, sound 60%, playability 61%, addictive qualities 50%, its overall rating was 64%. That's not a very good rating really. So let's have a look at the game. Oops. Should we have a look at the loading screen? Might not load if I do that. Of course it'll load. This is my Spectrum. Then go next of course. As always, today's show is run on real hardware, no emulation simulation in sight. We use real computers for real games. That sounds really rough. Okay, usual, very nice, interesting intro. I love that little display thing they do. Oh, sorry Mike, won't hit you again. Kempston Sinclair, redefinable keys, champion. And 4 is obviously how you start the game by selecting keys. So we're going to redefine the keys to start with using number 3. And need to move left, move right, move up, move down. What should we use for pause? Yeah, why not? I won't press it by accident. Okay, that's done. Let's play the game and see what we think about it. Only 64%. Okay. Take control. Right, we're going to fly through space to the first port of call. Collect the red, collect the yellows. Don't collect the asteroids because they're deadly. I like it. Good opening game. It sort of gets you into it, doesn't it? Bit of a blocky movement coming forwards, but then this is the Spectrum. Things are moving too fast for you to see any type of colour clash, of course. And then we're in the game. Don't pat the dog. Look at his walk up. Look at his, waddle up the stairs. Whoops. Get the fire extinguisher. hang around with him too much. First fire out of the way. Another fire out of the way, so we've got to go around defusing all these fires. And there's that bomb we've got to get to, so I don't know if I should blast them or not. All the bombs are disarmed, so you're now into space to move on to the next level. Okay, that was easy, wasn't it? Oh, I think I just hit an asteroid. That's what that squeak noise was. I'm sure it would be more of a ba-bang than a squeaky noise, but see what I mean? Oh, can't avoid him now. I've got to find my fire extinguisher again, have I? You see there's a fire there? Okay, where's the extinguisher now? Yeah, so what do I think of this game? I think he's pretty good. There's the bomb anyways. Oh, there's two bombs. Well, there's one of them done. I think I'm dead. Always ready for action. It's that walk up downstairs. That is not right, is it, mate? There's my fire extinguisher. I've just got to get to it. So if I can get around here, I can put a few fires out. The scrolling's not too bad either. Hey, let's put some fires out then. Oh, that guy got me. Oh, don't worry. I'll sort him out. Can't jump up there, so you've got to work around another route. And that's blocked, so there's got to be a way to open that, of course. Well, you can't blast him. Oh, fire! Fire! Don't panic! It's a fire! I'm the man that can. Hello, doggy. I wonder if that's Moritz in space. Oh, thanks to Ricky, by the way, for sending some extra goodies through. Now, I presume there's got to be another bomb for you to disarm. But you just got to locate it. And that is effectively... Oh, fire. Well, that sprung up in the right place, didn't it? Oh, there's a fire there. It's him. He started him. See, we've got a candle that's burning down on the other side. I'm chasing him, but he's gone. I wanted to blast him with my extinguisher. Still locked. Got to find a way. Can I go up there now? I'm still locked. And that's locked as well. He come from nowhere. Okay. So what do I think about this game? Well, actually, it's quite a playable game. It's graphically really quite nice. To be fair, there's a little bit of colour clash, as you can imagine. Nothing too major. Large sprites, quite a decent sized map. Two parts to the game, flying through space, and of course getting around there, blasting fires, blasting that guy, or that guy blasting me, as a matter of fact. Yeah, not too bad at all. I would definitely give that a higher rating than 64% because there's a lot to this game. There's got to be a lot in the coding of the game, and I don't think it's that bad. What to compare it to, I have no idea. I just fell down the ladder and broke my neck. Anyways, I'm going to give that an 8.5 out of 10. One for you to try. Hopefully you've forgotten about this, or you may have played it and would like to, who knows, give it another go. Well, Spectrum have been on a bit of a run recently with the Commodore versus Spectrum. Yes, we've had 3 victories in a row. We was behind, but now we're in front again, but by a couple. So that's not too far in front. It's been pretty neck and neck all the way, to be fair. With some things that Commodore have offered, Spectrum have offered up as well. And things that Spectrum have done, Commodore have done in some slightly better way. Obviously, the Commodore has the edge with the SID sound chip, but graphically, I think the Spectrum has the edge. However, playability-wise, well, that's another story altogether, isn't it? So join me now as we go for another bout of Commodore versus Spectrum. Let's just reset the computer. I might leave that running for now. So So the first game we're gonna go with, the Spectrum version, is this loading screen, and the Commodore version, as I point on a remote control without dropping it. Oh boy. Those panther-like reactions coming into effect there. Loading screen, of course, for Commodore has music. We won't have any sound clash here. Oh no, sirree. Ocean classic game, 1986, was it really? Tai-Han. Or Taiping. I've not really played this game, so don't expect a great deal of things. All I'm going to do is really judge the two and see which version is the best. Will it be the Commodore or will it be the Spectrum? The same game for the two different computer consoles. And usually when you see that happening, it means we're nearly there, we're nearly loaded, because that's what the Commodore does. So with the magic of editing, let's pause until we get it loaded and I'll show you the game in action. Looking good so far. So we've got no cash, got no dosh. Okay. Just can't do that then. I'm going up some strange alleys here. A lot of wide screen. Can I go through that door? No, okay. Sell old boy. I'll beat him up. Dead end. Don't know quite what we do. I should do the walkthrough, shouldn't I? But what I'm looking at is, first of all, the graphics. Nice size sprites. Obviously, you got a wider screen on the Commodore. You've got the SID sound in the background, which isn't too bad either. You've got a huge gap. However, there's quite a long time between the changing of screens. Well, that could be tucking against it, but am I going round in circles here? I probably am, yes. This is the inn. I've been in here, haven't I? No, I haven't. Oh, you can't go in there. I see. That guy looks like a baddie. He was after me. Okay, not 100% what I'm sure I've got to do, but let's have a look at the Spectrum version compared to this. Yeah, well, we can have the options of keyboards, joystick, of course, all the joysticks there. Kempson I'm going to use, so and that doesn't sound like a bleeper sound to me. It sounds like an AY. Now if I press space, File name. Why not? Oh, so you can save your progress of the game. I understand what that's about. I wish I hadn't done that now because I've got to wait for it to do all this. When you're learning these games, I'm just going to play through it for a few hours and see how I get on, and then bring you a judgment. Well, you've got a slightly smaller sprite of a man, and not a real colour clash at all because he's using black. Minor, if anything. The colour in the background's okay. Obviously the pixels are slightly better in the old Spectrum version. What is impressive is the rate of the change of the screen. Now on the Commodore one it goes white. On the Spectrum one it's black. And look how fast that changes. So that's pretty good. However, all the characters seem to be just one sort of either black colour with minimal difference, which we know with the colour palette of the Spectrum is quite difficult to do. The sound of the music I do like. It's not bad at all. Yeah, I know. Because I did that in the first one, didn't I? So it was always going to happen. Why don't we try taking something? Working out what to do sometimes is half the fun of the game. However, nowadays you can just go to YouTube and follow the walkthrough. We can switch between. That was easy for me to say. Switch between screens. You'll hear the Spectrum sound in the background. So what I'll have to do is just it's exactly the same music. Ah, you can hear footsteps. When he's moving on the Commodore, you can hear footsteps. You can also hear my joystick braking. So it's a white screen and it goes all white. The changing slightly seems to be slightly faster on some sections than others. Let's go and have a look at the Spectrum again. Can you hear footsteps on the Spectrum? This is what could possibly swing it. No. There's no sound of his feet shuffling along the floor. So, not knowing what to do or how to play the game, but judging of the overall look of the game, which is all I can really go on today on this particular game, I'm going to make a judgment. So, here comes my verdict. Because you can hear his footprint, and that could have been done on the Spectrum as well. And there's a difference between the graphical characters because you've got colours there. It's going to be no colour crash. I actually prefer the AY sound, but the SID sound's not bad either. But on this one occasion, I gave it Commodore. I thought that they've got a slightly better version of this game, even if I don't know how to play it. So, on that version, reset the computers. Let's go again with the next Commodore versus Spectrum. Yeah, we're going to go with Highlander. And this is by Ocean, of course, both versions. This is the loading screen for the Commodore, and we'll have a look at the loading screen for the Spectrum. Not a bad loading screen at all, I like it a lot. But yeah, if you remember the TV series and of course the film was pretty good. I enjoyed, and the series wasn't so bad either, was it? Bit of nostalgia there. I think I spent more time watching Xena Warrior Princess than that, though, to be honest. I think that was on roughly the same time, wasn't they? But yeah. So let's have a look at the Spectrum version while this is loading. So for that, I need to change over the. So we're going to go for the Spectrum version. We'll press 0 USR mode. There's the loading screen for the Spectrum. Nowhere near as good. So we should be ready to play the game now. Stop the tape. Oh, I have done. And of course there's no real sound in the background, so we can put a bit of the old specky sound on from the +2 just to make up for the silence. So, artwork. Dave, Martin, and who's that last one? That last one, because he's last in the list, must be the weakest artist of them all. Cracking graphic artist, obviously. Simon Butler, you all know him well if you've read any Crash magazine. Seen his screen area? He does a lot of the reviews of the graphics or screenplay that he picks out and puts on. If you buy the Crash magazines like I do, I'm a big fan of Crash. Let's have a look at the game then. And I think we'll go for Kempston. And we'll press enter to start playing. Okay, let's have a fight. I will press player 1. Just getting used to the movements. I think we'll start the game. So 1 player, here we go. And of course I'm probably going to get blasted. I forgot to select Kempston. Let's try again, shall we? Get in there, have it. I'm going to cut his head off. No, get off the floor! What are you doing on the... I've just been beheaded and I ain't happy about it! Which translated means that wasn't very good. Let's have a look at the Commodore version then, shall we? Which hopefully should have loaded by now. I have to load Commodore via tape. Old school. We've got sound clash. Let me just remedy that. This seat sound is pretty good. Yeah. Stephen, Martin and Simon again. Give it a go then, shall we? Space brace to continue. Yeah, okay, I will do. 1 player. Yeah. Look, this starts on 1 player. And I probably haven't... I did select joystick, didn't I? I'm not firing again. This is not going well. Get off the floor! Oh, hell. Come on. Hit him. Hit him. Joystick bashing. Rubbish at this. I've been beheaded for the 2nd time. I don't like this game. It's a bit brutal. I've just been quickened. And that guy has just absorbed all my knowledge. Didn't take long. Okay, here comes my verdict. Yeah. Looks better, doesn't it? Let's be honest, we've got to be fair. I've had to give it Commodore. Get some music on. I've got to behead him. I'll see you can block as well as... Well, that means that's bad news, isn't it? Am I actually getting any blows in here, or am I really that bad? Three times? Both keys at the same time? No. How ridiculous is that? Oh, Betty! Yeah. Commodore, I'm afraid, won it 2-0 today, and it's a best of 3, so if they go 2-0 up then, well, that's the end of the story. And they have indeed stopped the rot and brought it back. They was taking a bit of a beating, to be fair, wasn't they? But narrowly the first decision was for Commodore, and I just based it on the fact that you've got the sound of the foots. I didn't have a clue on how to play the game. I do know how to play this game, but I'm just absolutely pathetic at it. As I said before, you get good at the games you play the most, and this is one that I tend not to be bothered with. Well, after Year Kung Fu and, of course, Exploding Fist, no, the game really was in comparison, was it? In the meantime, hope you all enjoyed the show, and if you did, please remember, if you haven't already, to like, share, subscribe, and please comment, of course, and I'll always try and reply to your comments. And for me, Wayne Retro Robbins, wishing you all a good working week or weekend, depending on when you watch this video. Hope you enjoyed the show. I've already said that, haven't I? If you love a bit of retro, if you love a bit of 8-bit, you're going to love a bit of Retro Robbins. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.